Whew. Mm. Oh my goodness. Ah, boy. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Um, wow. It has been October 9th. Oh, hope they're okay. Ambulance and a fire truck going through the neighborhood. It has been October 9th was the last time I was here. October 9th. Man, I've been down at the Red Brick House. We have been busting a hump on the place. The place is looking really good. Let me say shout out to JMU Dukes. JMU Dukes, who ended up moving up to the big boy conference, okay, from last year to this year, okay, where, you know, back in my day, you used to call it Division 1AA as opposed to Division 1A, okay. They moved up into the FBS. And when you move up, they say you can't be in a bowl game for a couple of years because you're just joining. And they're like, you're moving up in a conference. You ain't got no chance to be in a bowl game, so it doesn't matter. But here's what's crazy. The JMU Dukes right now are 7-0, including beating teams like Division 1A standards like UVA early in the season. Mind you, JMU last played UVA in 1983. In 1983, they won 21-17, where Gary Clark had not one, not two, but three touchdowns. I say Gary Clark beat them. He had a touchdown reception, a punt return, and a kickoff return. That was the difference. And UVA said, we're done playing JMU until this past year, in which case they lost again. So shout out to JMU, who has their homecoming next Saturday night at 8 p.m., which I think will be, on ESPN, because they're on ESPN a lot. They won last night against, boy, look at this. Haven't been here, plants are taking over. It's like, feed me, Seymour. Okay. Good. I'm going to have to clip that a little bit. And that's part of the reason why we've been down at JMU, because we have some of our friends that are going to be at homecoming. And I think what we're going to do is Sunday's game, we're going to end up having our friends come over there at the Red Brick House, and we'll end up doing a watch party at the Red Brick House. And so we're trying to do, me and my lovely bride, as much work as we can to really get it to be hopefully nice for people to be able to be there. So that's where we are. You're all caught up to speed up on that. We have a weekend where we do not have the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm actually happy that we have the bye week right now, because this gives us a chance to heal and hopefully catch our breath to get ourselves together and try to make plans for the rest of the season. I know that 49er game still hurts, and 49er fans, you know, you guys, we literally had in my live stream just a few minutes ago, 49er fan coming in here pounding his chest, okay? Is all you got, is your whole season just beating the Dallas Cowboys? Because 49er fans, yes, you kicked our ass in the playoffs 2 years in a row. But I find it funny that you 49er fans are sitting here saying, well, we got Christian McCaffrey hurt, and Debo got hurt, and Trent Williams got hurt, when you were playing against a team that had an XFL quarterback that didn't have their number one running back. You lost. You might want to look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, are we breaking down as a team? Have we been found out? Have teams discovered that you need to put pressure on Brock Purdy? You don't come in pounding your chest after you lost. Just saying. Now, I get it. Maybe you're feeling good because you're playing Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, who is about 500 on primetime games. Maybe that's it. But I will say, they sure gave the Eagles a run for their money when Kirk Cousins had no offensive line. So be careful about counting your chickens before they hatch. And yes, I'm out here in the rain because I ain't been in my fire pit since October 9th, and I wanted to be It's just nice to be back home. Now, the Cowboys. First, we heard the Cowboys were going to be looking at making trades. Now we're hearing that don't expect the Cowboys to make trades. So I guess they got both covered. Me personally, the Cowboys aren't like Howie Roseman. Okay, they've seen Howie Roseman doing his thing, and it's worked for Howie. But the Cowboys, I believe, think that they have the team that they have is good enough, that they don't need to add anything extra, that they are fine where they are. Time will tell. Time will tell. This weekend, even though we're not playing, could be a big weekend for us. Last weekend was huge because after coming off the loss to the 49ers and literally looking and being 2 games behind them and 2 games behind the Eagles, had the Eagles ended up winning, now all of a sudden you start seeing their mortality. Now all of a sudden they've come back down to earth a little bit. Now while we're sitting here resting and regrouping and trying out additional players, we brought in 8 players on Wednesday for workouts and stuff, which is typically what you're going to do, during a bye week, trying to find players for that stretch run. This weekend is another big opportunity. We're going to find out if Miami, who looked like world beaters and the best, greatest team by the talking heads, that literally they're like, oh my God, Miami, you can't stop them. Well, in retrospect, you look at some of the teams that they played, they haven't been the elite teams yet. We're going to find out more about the Eagles and Miami this weekend as they play each other, because really Miami, the best team they've faced is Buffalo Bills, and Buffalo Bills beat them down. The Eagles, you look at right now and say, the Eagles, the Jets defense is the best defense that they've faced. And you look at the rest of the teams like New England, Minnesota, the Jets. See who else did they play? The Commanders. Hell, the Commanders took them to overtime, scored 31. So we're going to find out a lot about that team. And if the Eagles do happen to lose, that really puts a lot of pressure on them, because now you're talking about 2 games back-to-back with losses, and then looking at playing a division rival that took you to overtime, the Commanders with the left hand up, then facing the Cowboys, and facing the 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and so on. It could be the beginning of the downfall and the chance for the Cowboys to really get back on track. But by no means do we have an easy path. You've got some people talking about the Detroit Lions, maybe the best team in the NFC right now. And we've got to face them late. We'll find out if Miami with Tyreek Hill and crew, later on the season we played them. Buffalo, we've got them late in December in the cold weather. So by no means is it an easy stretch for the Cowboys, but that's football. And we'll see if Mike McCarthy's philosophy of keeping it close and not making mistakes is the right one. We've seen Air Cowboys where we've scored a lot of points and still don't have playoff success. So maybe trying something different is the right thing. Whew. Man. Feels good to be home. Feels good to be home. But I also miss the red brick house. I am truly blessed in so many reasons, so many ways. I am having my wonderful wife, who is my ride or die resurrect chick, who is there with me every step of the way on that red brick house, helping me to rebuild it and make something special. And having a project like that is literally rewarding, because it's great for me, it's great for Tracy, but it's also something that's been great for the community as well. So many people that have been at that house or lived at that house or tied to that house that are excited about it living when it could have been in a landfill is really rewarding for me. Personally, it's hard, it's expensive, but it's probably one of the greatest things that I've ever been able to be part of. And when you're there, normally I would probably still be working. I'd be finishing a live stream and, you know, spackling the wall, plastering the walls, or hanging the shades, or putting up some trim and things, because there's always a lot to do on it. But to see it constantly changing and evolving, and I think about how much change has happened there in those 9 days that we were there. Getting the electric fireplace unit and cutting out the fireplace and plastering that wall before we left. Getting the trim on the windows and getting those door seals and stuff on there, so that way when it's cold outside, it's not cold inside. Beginning to build like the patio outside the deck, and getting the front porch cleaned up, and making the basement, the cellar, so we do storage down in there. My wife doing all the decorating, the touch-up painting, and painting the laundry room, and getting the trim on. And when you start looking at it, now having a couch in there and being able to sit downstairs in the living room and look at the TV and watch a game, and the fact that we're actually going to have an event there, being able to cook and live stream from the kitchen, it's been just freaking incredible. I don't mean to bore you with it, but it's exciting, and it's very exciting for me. And like I said, when you're not there, you miss it. But I also miss my man cave. I miss having the guys here last Sunday, and miss my kids. And that's when you realize there's just not enough time. It's just not. And no matter how you try to dedicate it, when you spend a whole bunch of time on one thing, you're sacrificing time from another. And the sad thing is there's only so much time. And we have no idea how much we have. And so I try to make the most of every single day. And every day, one of the reasons why I work so late is, I always say, if I just get that done today, I ain't got to worry about it tomorrow. Because at one point, I'm going to run out of days. That's why I always tell you all, remember to tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again, friends. And I love you. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And with that being said, I'm going to turn out the lights and go to bed. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.